In this video, I'm going to go over the stomach. The stomach, the model we'll use is this one. This comes off the torso guy. So let's look at this. This is the area of the lab, number 4, going over the stomach. I'll go through this with you. The key to the stomach is that you have to be able to orient it correctly. So you have to look, there's two ends here. Obviously, there's two ends here, but you have to figure out which one, get in your head. All right, this goes on top of that. You have to get in your head which one's coming from the esophagus, which is this part, and this part is going into the small intestine. So spend a moment, a silent moment, spend a moment looking at these so you can remember which side is the end going into the small intestine and which is the coming from the esophagus. Okay. And again, this fits on top of here. So if we look at this, and you've got the numbers down here, there's a little difference between them, but I'll accept either answer, the one that's on here or the one that is in your packet. So you have the sphincter, remember sphincter, the muscularis layer. The sphincter is between the esophagus and the stomach is the cardiac sphincter, which is shown right here. So I may point to it here, and if I point to it here, I'm going to point to it on this half right here, or I'm just going to ask you, what's the name of the sphincter between the esophagus and the stomach? And that's the cardiac sphincter. And it's named because if you think about it, look at the torso when it's in the torso, that's right kind of behind the heart, and that's why it was named that. This region of the stomach right here where B is the cardiac region. They call it cardia. If you look here, okay, it's cardia. I'll accept either one. That is fine. Okay, so that's the cardiac region in here. Okay. This region here is the fundus. Now, what can get confusing is there's a greater curvature of the stomach, That is this whole area here, this curvature, okay, this curve, this large curve that you see. So if I want fundus, I'm going to put a pointer over here. If I want greater curvature, I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to take that tape and put it all the way around here, and that's the greater curvature. Okay, and that's how you'll be able to identify the difference. So make a note of that in your notes that that's what I will do. Okay, so the cardiac region, fundus, greater curvature. The lesser curvature is up here. Okay, this is the lesser curvature. That's a little easier to point to. And again, I would use a piece of tape, okay, if I wanted that. This area here, kind of the middle of the stomach, this region here is the body, okay, is the body of the stomach. And then the area going towards the small intestine, this is the pyloric region, okay, pyloric region, or on your lab, all right, it's called the pylorus. Again, I will accept either one. That's not a problem. And then you have the pyloric sphincter. Again, I can point on this half, like here, right here, or I could ask you, what is the name of the sphincter between the stomach and the small intestine? And your answer would be the pyloric sphincter. Okay. The last thing you need to know with the stomach is these rugae, are these curvatures. I don't know if curvature is not a great word. Take that back. Is these folds, there we go, are these folds within the stomach? So again, if I'm going to do that, I would use this half and I would point inside it. Again, you've got to look at how I'm asking the question. Okay, so if I asked you the structure here, if you said stomach, you would not get it right. You might get partial credit, but we're looking at these folds here, and those are the rugae. Okay, so you've got, again, you've got the cardiac sphincter, you have the cardiac or cardia region, you have the fundus, you have the greater curvature, which is this big curve here, again, a piece of tape, you have the body, you have the lesser curvature up here, you have the pylorus or the pyloric region, and then you have the pyloric sphincter between the stomach and the small intestine, and then you have these folds, which are called rugae. Okay. All right, so that is the stomach. Again, just review those. If you have any questions, let me know.